Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Startup Change Leaders weekly event. We meet every Sunday, 11:30 a.m. So today we have with us Mr. Anil Kumar Bonu. He is uh, having his own startup by the name of Talent Spotify, and he is a veteran in HR field and has been with a couple of companies in India and abroad. And he is going to talk about planning and building initial version of the product. So I think Anil needs no introduction. He has been uh, coming regularly on our earlier events as well. And as I said, Anil is a veteran on the HR front. And so over to you, Anil. You can quickly introduce yourself and then we can start.
Sure. Thanks, Rajiv, for a quick introduction. Good morning, everybody. My name is Anil, and I'm working as a HR tech professional since last 20 years onwards in India, UAE, and US in various companies. I do have an experience in terms of building their digital HR transformation. And as well as I just came back to India in 2021, and then I have started my own startup, which is a Talent Spotify, which is currently funded initially at the ideation stage, and then we just built it into MVPs, and then we are just trying out with the pilot beta version with our customers. So that's the stage what we are in. So today's session is something like planning and building your products of your first version, which is more or less close to that part of my experience. So I just want to share my experience on this particular topic with as well as my journey, how we have done it on this one, and what mistakes we have done, and what we should have done, and what it should not have done. That's what actually with my learnings on this point. So I thought of just sharing with you all with my experience on this one. So before stepping into that point, we are just going to talk about the three main things. One is product building phase and TMT model. I will talk about a little bit more about what is TMT and what is the approach, how we are going to take it up, and as well as do's and don'ts, what we are supposed to do and what we are not supposed to do, what works and what don't works. So that's the main agenda of today's topic on this one. So basically, when we are just this particular topic, what we are going to talk about it, imagine you are already having a product, you already decided that one, what idea you are going to be selected, and then you have already built you are planning to build your first version of the product, which is going to be an execution part. So the first step is like, you have a group of ideas, and then you selected the idea, and then you decided to go for a startup. And then after that, when you are just planning to release the first version of the product, which is an execution part, this is more important on this one. So what is supposed to be considered and what is not supposed to be considered on this one, that's the point what we are going to talk about it now. So the first thing, when we are just doing any product, when we are solving a problem, the whole idea for the product is you are just solving a problem. So when you are solving a problem, then you need to ask yourself, who is your customer? So most of us, the common mistake what we do is we feel ourselves as a customer, like, whatever the problem we have, then we feel that one, okay, we are trying to solve that problem. That is what actually we are solving our problem. So that is nothing but we are just putting ourselves as a customers. So this is where actually the major blunder which is going to be going off on most of the startups. You should not feel yourself as a customer. You are most likely not your customer. This is what actually the biggest misconception what is going to happen is everybody's on this one. I'll tell you one of the simple example what is going to happen. Most of us, we know that one as a PVR cinema, and which is having a biggest multiplex in India. So most of the people will go to the movies on this one and go and watching movies in PVR cinema. Okay. Then one of the famous movie, whichever it is coming up, then what we do generally, we will just go to book a ticket in online, right? If we want to go and watch movie in PVR, then what will happen? The majority sales, what we think, Even I thought the same thing on this way, like the majority sales, which is coming from the online booking, which is nothing but of 80% is my thought process, which is going on this one. Generally, what will happen if we want to go to movie, then what are the options we have? We will just open an app for Book My Show, or maybe a Paytm, or maybe directly open a PVR cinema website, and then we will just try to book the ticket online, right? That is what actually generally most of the perception. Like if somebody tomorrow PVR cinema is coming up and I want to increase my sales, then what we will do, we will immediately jump into the online ticketing system, and then we want to try to make it something like that, right? But the reality is totally different. What is the reality? Reality is most of the people, actually the online sales, which is coming from Book My Show, Paytm, and PVR movie website itself, the online channel sales is just only a 40%, not even 50%, less than 40%. I mean, less than 50% is that. That is nothing but of remaining percentage of the sales, 60% of the sales, which is happening at the box office. Generally, what will happen? I don't barely remember that we'll just go to the ticket, we'll go to the box office and purchase a physical ticket in last couple of 3-4 years onwards. But in reality, yes, this is what actually happening. Still, the people are purchasing at the box office tickets, which is having a majority portion, which is in a 60%. How it is happening? Generally, most of the PVR cinemas are located in shopping malls. So people go for a shopping and they will see that one. Okay, what are the movies are available, then they will just open the brochure over there, whatever it is. Okay, what is the closest movie which is coming up to the nearest one with their timings, and then they will see that and they will go to that box office immediately and they will purchase the ticket. This is what actually it's going to happen. Imagine if you are a customer, if you are thinking like as a PVR, then what we will do, we would have been developed the entire thing in online ticketing, right? But in reality, it is something else. The channel is coming somewhere else. The problem is coming up in somewhere else in the box office part, right? So that's a kind of a misconception what will happen in this one. And at the same time, like, what will happen is be curious about how the actual customer would behave here. So let's take an example, and what is the content they consume and things they use, etc. So that is nothing but of a use case. Like, let's take an example. You are having a website which is offering many deals. That's what actually your startup does. What will happen is, whatever it is in close by your area, there are various products, whatever it is, the various restaurants which is offers a deals like 20%, 30%, whatever it is on this point. So you will be listing out in your website and where you are selling up. Okay, so and so date, this is what actually the website is saying, that this is a close by your restaurant which is having a 30% deal. Okay, then what you thought about it when you are just developing a product? Okay, you thought, okay, my target audience is students who doesn't have, like, they may think about it, they don't have so much economically good on this one, whatever the pocket money where they have, then they want to try to save it, and so they are looking for a good deals when they are going for a restaurant. This is what actually our misconception of that part, like, who is the customer? Then I will say your target audience is students, like, because most of the students will just go out and then they will search for the good deal, whatever it is available nearest restaurant, and then I will go there, right? But you just think about it. A results came up. Let's take an example. Friday, that day is a Friday, and results came up. A student, just he got passed with good marks, and everybody of his friends asked him. Let's take an example. The student name, make it as a Ravi. Okay, and Ravi was asked by his friends to just give me a party on this one. We just want to go to that. Then what Ravi will see that one? It's a group of 10 friends. So he will just search it out. What is the restaurant close by him, which offers a good discount, because group of people are going for a lunch on that one, right? Or maybe a dinner. So he will see that one. Okay, there is a one restaurant which is offering a 40% discount, which is maybe around 10 kilometers away from his place. So he preferred to go for that, because 10 kilometers is different. It's okay. We can go with the various bikes they have, and they can go all together and they can just have that deal on this one, because it's a 40% discount which is there. And the same Ravi on a Saturday, maybe his girlfriend or boyfriend wants to have a dinner or lunch. He needs to take it out there. So in that case, what he will see, he will look into the same thing and this one, but this time he don't want to compromise the ambience of the place, what he is going on that. At the same time, he don't want to spend so much of amount on this one because he don't have that much budget. So what he will see, he will say that, okay, there is around 10-20%, whichever it is, discount available at that moment. And the restaurant ambience should be good and which is close by him, maybe around 5-10 kilometers, within the 5 kilometers radius or maybe 3 kilometers radius, whatever, which is available. That's what actually his consumption on this one. And then the next day, which is having a Sunday, maybe a Mother's Day. So he wants to give his mother as a great gift, which is having as a nice restaurant, and he wants to take her on the lunch. And her mother, let's take an example, her mother is a diabetes patient and he don't want to wait in the restaurant queue on this one. So he wants to make a reservation. He don't care about at that moment what is the money required on this one. So it doesn't matter, irrespective of the money, whatever it is there, I want to give a gift to best experience to my mother. So let's have it as a book on the ticket. I mean, whichever it is, whatever it is, the premium part of the restaurant, I want to go there. Customer is only one student in all three scenarios. If you can see that the customer is common, which is Ravi, he is a student, but the way of behavior is changing in a day to day. That means the context based behaviors are changing, which is nothing but of the use case. So when we are a startup, when we are building a product, we should not build it for a customer segment. We have to build it for a use cases, not for the customer segments. So if you would have been built a product for a customer, like the Ravi kind of a thing, he is having the students, then my purpose will be only having it is on only on a Friday part, like which is having as a group of friends where he is going over there. Then his behavior is changing. The customer is not constant. The customer is constant, but his behavior is changing based on the context. So if you are just developing a product, you should be behaving like as a what is the content they consume, what are the things they use. These are the things, patterns, persona you need to understand about the customer, and then based on the use case, pick up one use case to build the initial product. That's what actually, sorry, I have given a big example, but that's what actually it is required to you understand what is exactly the concept of use case and the difference between customer and customer use case. Okay, customer is constant in the previous example, but the use cases are different. So we have to target for an initial product to build a nice use case. That's what actually the most important on this one. And second thing, what we observed in the whole story on this one, a single customer is reacting differently in different situations. So it is always advisable at the initial stage. What we need to do is you have a multiple use cases. In the same example, we have a 3 use cases. One is he's going with his group of friends, and he's going with his girlfriend, and he's taking his mother. These are the 3 different use cases. But you need to start your product as an initial version for one use case. That means at initial stage, you build only one use case. You don't build for many things, like, you know, what you can say, don't try to build your product for many use cases. You build it for one product. Let's take an example. Imagine a case of Uber. Just think about it. Uber, what is the objective of the Uber? Uber is just like, you know, I will send you a cab where you are located, from that place to where you want to go. That's it. I don't want to send a cab. If you want to go for a tomorrow morning scheduled cab, sorry, no, we don't want to send it anything on this one. They started only one feature, which is nothing but of wherever you are, we will send you the cab from there to another place. They don't have anything like as a schedules initially, and they don't have anything like as a additional features what they have now currently. No, they didn't start with that one. They started with the core part, which is having a one use case, and they build it properly and executed on this one. So you take that one. So what we need to learn and understand from Uber, we need to take it up only one use case, and then we are supposed to be execute that use case properly, and then we are supposed to be deliver that. That's what actually the expectation of the initial building version of the product. Now, when we are just doing that one, what we discussed about it, how the customer is going to be differently reacted. So we have to take it out as a one use case part. And the most important point, what we need to do, how we are going to do, there is a simple 2x2 matrix, which is having time versus money. So let's understand that one, how we are going to do that. So imagine a case where the people don't have a money, okay, and they do have a money risk. Let's take an example, an average classic American customer. Take an example. What they will do, they will just go for an online shopping. Okay, I'm just talking about the behavior of our average American classic customer part. Okay, I'm taking as that one. So what will happen is they will just want to send a birthday gift, or maybe they want to do something like or any Mother's Day gift. Take an example, Mother's Day gift, they want to send it out to his mother on this one. What they will do, they will just simply open Amazon.com and they will find a gift and they will see the delivery. If the delivery is going to be happen tomorrow, because they need to send it tomorrow, because tomorrow is a Mother's Day. So that is the reason they want to send it by only one day on time, which is requires as an Amazon Prime subscription, then they will go for a subscription on this one, because they do have a money, but they don't want to just go for a time, because they don't have a limited part. What they don't have is time. So they are going to have it as a money. So they want to compensate that money to reduce the time part. So this is the behavior is here. What is the behavior for that one? Average, they don't have a time, but they do have a money. This is one of the kind of a segment of the customer, right? There is another kind of a segment. Let's take an example, average Indian classic customer on this one. I'm talking about the average part only. I'm not talking about the exceptions. Yes, there are exceptions, but average Indian classic customer. What is the behavior will be there? Generally, the same case, if you want to send it out as a birthday gift or something like you want to send a gift, then what we'll do, we'll see multiple websites and we will go with the multiple reviews and we will select it, because we will see, because we have a time. So we will check it out, everything on this one. And at the same time, the delivery is going to be having it as a different option. Take an example in Amazon. So you have a different example, different, options are available. Let's take an example. If the item needs to be delivered by tomorrow, there is a requires as a Prime subscription, and which requires as a something like 1,000 rupees per year or something you need to pay. Or maybe like, it will be delivered a day after tomorrow, which you don't need to pay anything on this one. Then obviously most of the classic Indian customers, what they will do, they will select standard delivery, which they don't need to pay anything on this one. So here, what is the point here? What we understand, we are just having a time. As a customer is having a time, he is okay with to bear the time, but he don't want to spend money on this one. So that is where actually you need to categorize your customer category into based on the behavior patterns on this one. Now, yes, x-axis we have seen time and y-axis we have seen money, and there is a z-axis which is having a trust. So how does that trust will work here? Take an example. In this case, for example, take an example of average American customer on this one. What they are expecting, they will be always looking for the more trust and reliable product on this one, because they are spending a money which is having a less time, but at the same time, I need to have a trustworthy on this one. Whereas in India also, yes, we are also looking for the trust, but it is not as much as like as an American on this one, but because we are not spending money, so the trustworthy factor is bit lower. So I can say that one, the customer pattern in such a way, trust rich, money poor, and time rich economy, which is nothing but of an average American customer classification of that bucket. Whereas in Indian customer economy, how we can see trust poor and time rich and money poor economy. That's how we can categorize the two different segments. So when you are defining these segments, you can see that one, what is your product, which segment of customers will be applicable to that. When I'm saying is a TMT, time, money, trust, which is nothing but of these are the three factors where it will be finding out. So because The initial product, when you are building out, it will always connect to the right emotion. Okay. And it is not because of the features, it is because of the need of the problem, because of the ease of use case of that one. Take an example of the Uber. What is the Uber perspective at that moment? What is the need? The person needs to go from point A to point B. That's it. So he don't care about it, what time and how fast and what is the luxury and all these things is a secondary matter. Those are all features. At scheduled time it is coming up. These are all extra features, what it is coming up. So what is the primary need? He needs to go point A to point B and he needs a cab over there. That's the point what we are looking. So now let's go into the small deeper perspective of that one. What kind of a MVP approach we need to build it out for this? So how we are going to build an MVP approach? Take an example. One category where people don't have a time and people don't have a money and people don't have a trust also. So in that case, what is the MVP approach we are going to take it out? It is going to be an example. I'll tell you. Its example is Google search. Take an example of Google search. What is a Google search means? Google search doesn't require any time, like it will be coming up as search bar and you don't need to spend any money because anybody can search on this one. Trust, because Google will give you as a list of websites, but you don't expect Google to give you exactly what is the keyword you are searching on this one. Yes, it will give you maybe as a top of the searches, which is closely relevant to that, but it will never give you as a Google, that is the only page it needs to be open. No, it will not give you as a list of these because that's a trust is no on this point. So that's the example where we can take it out. In this case, the MVP approach should be a fastest one. Like, you need to build the fast pro use case, you can bring it out and then you can test it out. Because your category of the people, they don't have a time and they don't have a money and they don't have a trust. Take an example and the second case. People don't have a money and people don't have a time and they have a trust on it. Example, the same search, you can look into the Zomato. When you are looking into Zomato, you will be having as a restaurants where the search is coming from Google and the search is coming from the Zomato. When you are searching, your mind perception is totally different, right? So what you will see in Zomato, the moment you search the restaurant and then you will see the rating and you will see the reviews, right? So that because you have a trust on the search part and you have trust on the reviews, what it is coming up on that one. So in this case, what will happen? If your customer category falls under, these are the characteristics or use case characteristics falls under this, then the best MVP approach is you build a product and make it use for 1 or 2 customers and get a testimonial and publish it. That's where actually it will be coming up. So this category is specifically the people who wants to have a trust on this one. To build a trust for your product, how it will be coming up. One is testimonial. That is the major winning factor to get it into MVP approach. The next approach. People don't have a time and people have a money and the trust part is less on this one. So what will happen is the biggest example is here, FOMO. FOMO is nothing but a fear of missing out. So it's all about the best example. What we can say is CRED. I hope you are all aware of that. What is CRED part, right? CRED is nothing but which is one of the app which is related to credit card for the premium customers. Premium credit card, you maintain all the credit card applications, but entrance is easy. No, it will not be. They will not be just giving it to anybody on this one. What they will do, they will see the customers whomever it is coming up and they will check the credit score. If so-and-so credit score and above, then only they are eligible to use the app and they can maintain with the credit card part on this one. So it is a kind of a premium kind of a feature on this one, which is these kind of a, if your characteristics of the customer falls under this, then you need to start that product immediately because the people will be having a feel of that fear of missing out, the first one. And if the people don't have a time and people have a money and as well as trust, in that case, it will be coming up as a example is ClearTrip. Let's take an example. When you are searching it, if you are searching in Make My Trip for booking a ticket is slightly different experience than the booking of ticket in Cleartrip. Because Cleartrip, you don't get many deals as many as like as a Make My Trip, but in Cleartrip, whatever you are getting as a results on this one, it is having absolute pricing what you will be getting on this one. It's a kind of a premium kind of a nature on this one. So your MVP approach is in this case, it is kind of a premium segment what you belongs to that. So whenever it is a customer is falling under this falls under as a premium kind of a segment, it will be fall under that. Okay. Now next one is people don't have people have a money and people have a time and they don't have a money and they don't have a trust on this one. So what will happen? It will fall under this is a different category on this one. So example, people have a time. So they do have a lot of time, but they don't have a money, but they don't have a trust. So in this case, what will happen? The best example is take an example of any deals offering companies what they have on this one. Like maybe you can say Groupon or maybe like any other websites where it is going to be giving you as a deals on this one. It's a kind of the MVP approach for this suggested approach is the best price because people have a time, but they don't have a money and they don't have a trust on this one. So in this case, it's better to offer as a best price on this one. That's the approach of the MVP on this case. And the next one, people have a time, but they don't have a money and as well as they trust that point, like they do have a trust on this point. So in this case, what will happen is you can example is Make My Trip, ticket booking and Make My Trip, because what will happen is in this case, it will be looking for a deals. The people whomever it is booking a tickets on this one in Make My Trip, okay, there will be some sort of deals will be available on this one. Maybe some promo codes which will be available on this one, maybe credit card offers, whatever it is on this one. So in this case, the best approach of in this case, the best approach of MVP is abundance on this one. And take an example of the next one. People have a time and people have a money and they don't have a trust. In this case, there is something called as an example, Make My Trip holidays. Take an example, if you are just looking into the Make My Trip holidays, most of us will browse it, will browse Make My Trip holidays, but we may not able to select that one, what we need to go, but we will go to that some other Club Mahindra or maybe something Thomas Cook or maybe holiday packages, we will go look into that. But they do have a time because they do have a money because that is the reason they are searching for the holidays on this one. But as a trust, booking on Make My Trip holidays is less comparatively to booking on real holiday package sites on this one. So in this case, the MVP approach is it should be like, you have to take care of more of the things on this one. So I will be taken care of that one. That's what actually it is a kind of a customer needs to be having a feeling that one, I will be taking care. I need to be taking care of somebody else on this one. So that's how it is going to come up on this one. And the last category, which is having the people have a time, people have a money, and as well as people have a trust. The classic example is Airbnb. What is Airbnb? If you want to just go and stay it like as a homestay kind of a feeling, then what you will do, you will go to the Airbnb and then you will browse through all the options what you have, and then you will search for whichever it is best one because you do have a money, so that you will search for and you can browse everything because you do have a time on this one. And at the same time, you trust that one because in the Airbnb, you will be having a lot of options will be available because those are all trusted home factors on this one. So that's the reason which will be coming up on this. So in this case, the MVP approach is like, self-help, like, I will help myself. That's what actually it is. Airbnb, you don't need to do anything on this one. You can just go and browse it by yourself and then you can see the reviews. And based on that, you will book the respective homestay, whatever it is, you will be taking it. That's nothing but it's a kind of a self-help. That is nothing but I will help myself on this one. That's the kind of a category where it will fall. So in summary, this is what actually there are the 3 different dimensions, and every product use case falls under this framework. You take any of your use case, it will fall under your category, any of these permutations and combinations of these 8 categories. And you have to identify by yourself is a genuinely your product use case falls under which category of that. Based on that, you have to select the right MVP approach on that one. That's how it is going to be, it's going to be defined. For example, for my point of view, it will be falling under, like, initially my MVP part falls under here. There is no time, no money, and more trust on this one. It will be fall under that point at this one, because since it's the B2B SaaS and where it is related to that. Then later we realized, yes, we fall under the premium part on this one, because the people whomever is having money and as well as trust on this one. We will just initially start with here, and then later our characteristics will be changes of the customers. Then we will go for this one. That's how we are just going to decide ourselves on this one. So similarly, you have to figure it out, what is your use case, and based on that, you will find it out. You need to figure it out where you fall under where is your use case falls under exactly on this one. So before going into that one, the next point, which is having a do's and don'ts. How we are going to make it out? Generally, what will happen? We will be just the basic guideline principles, what we can take it out on this one. Don't make your product as a feature rich. That means you don't need to have your product as having a lot of features on this one. And also, the first version is not about creating a perfect product. It's all about, it is how you are going to address the need. You are just testing the market on this one. It need not to be a perfect. And I had somebody from LinkedIn founder, one of the famous quote is saying that one, if you are satisfied with your first version of MVP, that means you are already late to the market. That's what actually it's been the quote. And I like that quote, because that means you are just fine tuning your product is so much, and then you are releasing it to the market. And if you are happy and satisfied, that means you are already late. That means you are not done. You are adding so many features and you are doing so much of the things on that. And also, it is to test how good the product is in front of your good customers, because they are the one who is going to give you a feedback, and they are the one actually the live users. And at the same time, keeping adding a features one by one to the previous version of MVP, and the releasing of MVP soon and getting a feedback and keep building over it. It's a kind of a continuous loop where you will be getting as your product into a more better shape. Rather than that, you are building up all features and launching it to other one, and where customer may not like it. At the same time, you already lost your money and time on that. So that's what actually we need to see that one. And at the same time, for B2B products, especially B2B products, the same thing. Like you have the TMT framework, what we have seen here, the TMT framework, which is supposed to be used for the B2B, especially for the part. The difference is, instead of building an MVP for multiple clients for B2B, I'm talking about the B2B SaaS products especially. Instead of building for multiple customers, you build it for one and then sell it to others. That's how it is going to be through that. And use that one customer, whomever it is you are building, make that as a testimonial to everybody. And ask yourself, how many other customers can you cater using the same product? That's where actually you need to see that. So for B2B, the basic fundamental is you just roll it out to the one customer, and for that customer, get the testimonial and see that if that customer can be scalable, the product can be scalable to the cater to multiple customers on this one. So in summary, what we understand is how to build the first version of the product. And if the basic fundamental, what we need to understand, we are not the customers, you are not the customer, and make the product for use cases and optimize it to one use case, and approach to build the particular product using our TMT framework. What is TMT? Trust, money, and time framework on this one. And what we understand is, finally, as a do's and don'ts, do not make our product to be a feature rich, and as well as optimize in a way that many people use our product and solve the problem for your use case. So that's what actually I can just say that point, and I'm concluding from my side. So I'm just leaving the floor to be open from everybody, so to have it as a questions, and I'm feel free to add any points with your experiences.
Thank you very much, Anil, for a very insightful, comments. So, anybody with any questions, please?
Yeah,
Ajish?
yeah. Thank you, sir. Like, like there were 3 use cases which you mentioned, like Ravi taking his friends, 10 people, then his a single person and his mother. So could you please tell, like, now how can we develop use cases specifically, that the initial use case?
Correct. See, in this case, if I would have been built a product, I would have been built product for first use case. Let's take an example. Either these are the 3 different use cases for me, right? So going with Ravi is going with friends, and Ravi is going with single person, and Ravi is going with mother, right? 3 different cases. One is completely economical mode, another one is semi-economical, and third one is the premium, right? So when you are taking on this one, you should not build for 3 use cases at the initial part. That's what we understand from the whole conversation on this one. You have to pick any of the use case. Either it is the most likely the picking use case, the first use case, which is nothing but of going with a group of friends, which is going to be having it as a first use case if you pick it out. And if you are getting a traction from your product, like somebody is downloading and somebody is using it, then slowly you can add the use case number 2, which is nothing but of after having a some certain traction, and if you are getting a revenue of the first use case, then try with the second use case. Or if you don't get any revenue in the first part on this one, drop off that one and try focus on the second use case, because first use case you have already built a model, so your effort is a bit less when going for a second one. But you have to wait certain period of time, maybe a 1 month or 2 months. You need to wait and see the traction. Based on that, you can take a call for the second use. But you should not build your product for 3 use cases at one shot at the initial level. That's what I can say.
Yeah, thank you. And could you please add, like, see, there are 3 models, right? B2B, B2C, D2C. Like, in this use case, how can we include that also?
Okay. So in this category, like, if you are using as a first category, let's take an example, B2B. Okay. So if you are targeting your customer as a B2B, that means you are going with many friends, then I will prefer to go with first use case. Okay. If my category is going for a B2B, then I will go for B2C, then I will go for that. Why? Because I'm going with a group of friends, okay, which is having as a common discount. So in that case, one of my friends, definitely my peers will ask me how much is the cost. Then I will say, okay, this is the cost, 100 rupees, but I got a discount of 40 rupees, which is having around 60 rupees is the bill. So what he will do, he will be saying this same thing to his another friends, because I have a group of 10 people, which is having another 10 people will be there. So he may just spread the word with his friends, also another circle. So what will happen is my circles are growing up. So I prefer to go if I'm going for a B2C, then I'll go for a first use case. Whereas if I'm doing a B2B, then I will go for, rather than first use case, then I'll go for a third use case or maybe a second use case, which is having, like, if you are just going with a single person, or if you're going with your mother, which is having a premium experience, which she can share with other people as an experience of that one. And I will record the video on this one, how's the experience and everything. Then I'll post it in my social media. Hey, this is what actually I have given a surprise to my mother, and this is what actually the lesson. If that is going to use it, your testimonial for the B2B scenarios. So you have to pick and choose what is the right use case based on your category of the use case on that.
Thank you. And the final one, like you mentioned, LinkedIn, like I should not be satisfied with my first product. That means I am very late into the market.
Correct. That's what actually I really like that quote, what he quoted on that. So what he's saying is, like, if you are fully satisfied with your first version of the product, which is already launched in the market, that means you are already late into the market. That means you have already spent a lot of time and a lot of energy on that one. So generally MVP for any product, generally 3 to 4 months, it's maximum to launch the product and test it out on this one. Most ideal time is 12 weeks. That's what actually people says that.
And that should not be fully finished, right? It should be.
No, it is. It is not. It is only for the 1 or 2 features, and that feature should work properly. That's it.
And the owner should not be satisfied.
Owner should not be satisfied in the sense like, yeah, you are just having a trust should be more on this one. Like, you feel that, okay, I don't need to satisfy here and I have to have much more features. I would have been done it much more if I have a more money or like more resources. If I have, then I would have been done better ones. Okay. Generally, that's how it is supposed to be like that. It's the inner feeling. Like, if I have a money, then I would have been done much more better. That's what I think it should be. It should come on you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
So,
you. Yeah.
So if I should know, actually, the MVP, the product should come as quickly and fast, and it should not have full features.
Yes.
We should be keeping on adding based on the feedback which we get.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you.
See, basically, that's the challenge on this one. Initially, we will think about it. Okay, within 2 months, we'll launch it, and within 8 months, we'll launch it. Especially for because my product is B2B SaaS product, and I thought about it. It's only within 3 months I can launch it, but actually, it's end up with 5.5 months. I took it on this one, but I'm late on this one because somewhere else I just felt like okay, this feature needs to be there. This should be in a better on this one. So I have a feeling that one, okay, I'm okay to go with the customer now, but it's almost took as a 2 months extra, which is having a 2 months cost I have paid extra on that. So it's all depends.
Yeah, and like I understand that's a B2B in MVP framework where this will come, like it will be in the premium segment, right?
Yeah, basically framework. See, basically what will happen is this kind of a particular thing, it will be coming under premium ones. Yes. Premium and the other one, what I can say, premium and as well as FOMO kind of a thing where it will be coming up. Testimonials. These are the two approaches will come up.
Okay. And it is always mandatory, like in B2B, we should provide testimonials.
See, testimonials provides a trust factor. Okay. See, B2B business, I'll tell you one thing. B2B business, there is no value to brand. Okay. Nobody will not be care about the brand on this one. It is always comes under trust. B2C, yes, brand makes a lot of difference on this one. Whereas in B2B, no, they really don't care. They know about the person. They want to trust the person. Then that will come up with the, build. Your business will come up based on the mouth of publicity, word of publicity on this one. And from one company to another company, there is their group of seminars or maybe group of some conferences happens, then they will talk with each other. Hey, I'm using this product. And this one, somebody is in conversation, they will refer to another one. Whereas in B2C, it requires a lot of advertisement, marketing, and everything on the brand side. But here, B2B, you need to have a brand to be increased for yourself, personal branding. And as well as that, because personal branding is required. Why? Because the trust needs to be increased on yourself. That's the main thing.
Yeah, thank you. And could you please add something about D2C?
D2C, it's a kind of a direct to customer, right? It is more or less like as a B2C and D2C, both are close to the same way, same category, right? Because where it is a retail, end of the day retail, which requires a lot of branding over there. Especially in D2C perspective, it is requires as a direct to customer is always, you need to have a lot of branding. Otherwise, it will not go as as fast as what you can see on this one. Because that's the reason these retail branding people are just more focused on retail people are be more focused on branding part.
Thank you.
Any other
Anybody?
questions?
Yeah. Anybody else with any questions, please? So Anil, this is very clear that every delay which happens is a cost for the entrepreneur. No.
Yes.
So what are the ways to measure or monitor, and what do you think is the best way? Because I have seen in projects normally even the best of the leaders and best of the managers they end up having some delays, right? So,
Correct.
what do you think is the best way out of your experience to curtail this delay and how to manage this one most effectively?
The major reason, Raju, one of the major reason is based on the team.
Yep.
Okay. The team, what you are forming, that's the core part, what it is going to be, because they are the one who is going to be executed on this one. Rest
Yeah.
of the pieces like resources and all these things comes under later. See, when you are forming a good team, you should be make sure that one, they will be continuously with you next 3 to 4 months, and they will deliver. Each and everybody is going to give you what they are assigned task on this one. If there is a slippage is coming up, which is going to be linked, this is a typical projects how we are executing, right? If there is a one task is delayed, then the subsequent tasks also will be delayed. So we have to be make sure that one, how it is going to be executed. Yes, it is just like as any other project management, how we are doing a company is the same way you have to follow here. But what is the biggest challenge is here in companies, when we are doing a project management, we don't care about the budget because that is going to be given by the company. Somebody will be there as financial help, take care of that one, somebody will be there. And if you want resources, then you have somebody is there to take care of your, to provide you required resources, like, human resources. If you want to have a good developers or something, somebody recruiter will come and search for a recruiter and give it to you as a right resources. If the resource is not good, then you can replace it. You have an option to do that, because you have a pool of resources where you can do that. Whereas in startup, you don't have that luxury. You don't have a financial, because you need to make sure yourself, and you don't have any recruiters where you can just go and have a resources. And second thing, the resource to come and join with you itself is a more convincing factor, like, because you don't have a brand and everything, because you are starting on this one. Somebody has to trust on you and come back on this one. So once the core team is formed, then you can start and plan it on this one. Then it's a better to do that one. Even in my example is also same thing. I just got couple of resources, then I started, then I need some more resources, which took time. By the time that my first 2 resources, they have completed their work. And that's where actually it is coming up on this one. And even when I was just interviewing also, like, I did not compromise the resource quality. So I should have compromised somewhere else on this one, at least to get the product to be ready on this. So I was looking for the best, and you cannot wait for all the best. You have to go for a mix and match with the resources, whatever it is available. That's the one lesson learned I have done.
Right. And another comment I would like to make, what I have observed, people tend to do everything by themselves. They don't recruit people. They think that, okay, you can save money by not recruiting, and I can manage myself. But that actually leads to delay in the projects, and sometime even you are too late for the market, no? So,
you are 100% right, because I have seen most of the co-founders and these people are working as a CTOs, they themselves putting into the coding and all these things. And I have seen some of the places like founders themselves, they are doing the coding. See, there is nothing wrong in it, because you are saving a cost on this one. But what will happen is there are other moving parts which is required, which gets eventually delayed, because you are core into this part of the operations on this one. You should going out, and then you have to look into that one. That's how you are supposed to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anybody else with any comment, question?
Yeah. So my question, another question is like, while building the MVP, how initially itself we should start looking at the customer, because if we get the customer initially, revenue also comes, and we can also focus more on the product. Could you please throw some light?
True. See, basically, if you can get a customer before starting a product, okay, and if you can convince him this is the product I'm going to release it, this is the use case, and if you can start using it, and if you can get it, you are lucky. Okay. And then if they are ready to pay you, then that's more than enough for you. That's the success of your MVP itself. See, if you generate any money from your MVP, that's the success. I can say that. That's a straightforward success. You don't need to worry about much anything on this one. Forget about the delay and all these kind of things. We can forget about everything. If customer is paying, taking money from his pocket and then paying it to you, even it is a 10 rupees, doesn't matter. So you are success. That means somebody is paying for your MVP. That means You can scale it out as there is a money, people are ready, there is a problem is genuine, and this is solving the problem, and people are opening their pocket and then they are giving a money. So that means, yes, there is a money generated idea. That's what actually we need it for a MVP side. Rest of the thing, grow and everything, yes, that depends on the next level of category part of this one. Like once you get a money, then how you are going to make your product beautiful, then you can go for a funding and all these things that will fall under next categories eventually. So yes, better you have to have a customer, and that's wonderful part if you
yeah,
have it.
so do we need to spend money on marketing?
No, absolutely no. I prefer MVP level. You should not spend anything on that marketing on this one. Because I mean, money wise, yes, you should not market anything. If you can just get the references from your customers with your known circles, or if it is a B2C, yes, from the known circles. If it is a B2B, if you know any of your network, get one customer to be convinced, yes, that would be good. But if you are getting as a free channelizing for marketing, then why not use it? Opportunity on this one and use it for me. For example, for me, we were selected in STPI, and we have been invited to Digital India, which is having a Prime Minister's inauguration, and everybody ministers are coming up. Fortunately, we have just showcased our model wherever it is. By the time small MVP is ready for me, and I just showcased on this one, and I got a customer from there onwards. So from there onwards, we are just working with them on that one. So it's a free marketing. I did not spend anything on that one. So it depends. Like, I prefer not to spend anything on marketing. Unless until if you have a B2B customer, then unless until if you have a 5 to 10 customers on your hand, then spend something on that. That's sales and marketing, then you start doing. But initially 0 to 1 and 1 to 10, preferably not to spend much. But if you are growing more than 10, yes, definitely you need to spend on marketing, you need to spend on sales. Yes, you have to do, because you are coming into growth mode now.
Okay. Any more questions, please? Anybody else? Yeah, please go ahead.
And do we have to cut cost in the MVP, like because we'll be we have very limited money at that point of time.
Correct.
Yeah. Should we cut costs, or we
Yeah,
should not?
as much as possible, because you are spending your own money, right?
Yeah.
So it's obviously you have to limit as much as possible with the minimum viable product. That's what we call it as a minimum viable product, including your cost also should be minimum on this one.
But quality we should not compromise on it, right?
Yes, it is a quality in the sense like whatever the use case you are making, that make it perfect. That's what actually we are looking. Even one feature, that one feature should work perfectly in all directions.
Okay.
That's what. Yeah, Nimisha. Nimisha, you raised your hand.
Yeah. Tushar also. You can go ahead, Tushar.
Hi Anil, I'm audible to all of you. Good afternoon.
Sure.
My first question is just Anil to you is I'm in the freelancer content writer, finance content writer. I'm in the field of providing content services and pitch deck services to my clients. I'm in initial stage. I'm an early start and on like as an entrepreneur. I just want to ask to you, should I go with the services package to my clients, or should I go with single services? Like some of my client don't have that financial resources to pay me that kind of thing, but they really want to take my services. So what should I have to do?
So are you providing only a services on this one? That's what you do generally.
Yes, I'm just providing my consulting and do my build my own digital products in such a way, like kind of mentorship with my personal content writing for their businesses, for article writing and that kind of things. But no as such.
Specific, right? But that is specific to the customer only, right?
Yeah, it's for customer specific, but for also for the B2B also. I'm also do writing for the venture capitalist firm as well.
No, that's where actually I was a bit confused on this one. If it is a specific to one particular customer when you are providing a services, that is a purely consulting services. It's a traditional consulting services. But if you are just making as an aggregation which can be useful for other customers also, then we can just something we can talk about in that case.
Yeah, it can be the it can use by the any other customers also who was related with the kind of financial resources, like any one person who earn money want to learn their management of financials, how they can manage their finances, or any other CA firm or other kind of finance firm want to tell that services to their clients. The both the services I am providing to the like B2B and B2C.
So it is a kind of a platform what you are just coming up with that, planning to come up with that, how you are planning to do that?
Yeah, I'm planning to build my own website. I want to planning to build my own content area where we are providing to the articles in audio and written form as well. And also starting, I'm in the middle of the phase of start building my own video content as well for my services. So
Which are
what?
kind of a learning management kind of a thing, right? Basically,
Yeah,
more.
I'm in the middle of that. I'm currently it's just currently running on the networking, but I want to give that online phase. I want to generate the traffic through the online website and other my social media pages. But that's why I've told you that I'm in the initial stage of this, but I want to expand this. Just tell me how can I do that? What the steps I need to take? Should it
Have you
fall?
make any videos or by yourself to put it into YouTube or something like
No,
this?
like I've done with my video content, but it's in the editing phase because I'm just thinking that I have to try to create 10 to 15 videos at first and then we'll start
Yeah.
uploading.
I think that's better, right? So first you put it into a YouTube channel and then put the videos and see the response, how it is coming up, and put your social media and how much is coming up, what is the traction is coming up. Based on that, you can take a call.
Yeah, yeah. Tushar, I have given my number in the chat window, so you connect with me. We'll and join the community. So you know you will get a lot of connects here. So that's and we can discuss offline how to go about it.
Sure, sir, sure. I'll be touch with you after
Yeah,
this session as well.
Sure.
Okay. Because I'm working as a professional also as in a finance in an internal auditing of the
Okay.
EXL Industries as a senior associate in Gurgaon.
Very nice.
But I'm currently have ACCA also. So
Oh, great.
bit of the finance knowledge I have, I just my only agenda is to educate the people who has not come from finance background to how to manage their financial wealth also, health also. It's really helpful for them to like in the phase of recession and in the phase of booming also. It will
Right.
help you to give the direction and give you the peace of, and you can easily live your life in a happy way. So my only objective is to do that thing.
Right. Fine. Appreciate it. Tushar. Fine. I think we are coming to the close of the 1
Nimisha,
hour.
is there any question on this
Yeah.
one? Raise your hands.
Yeah, please. If you have any question, please come forward. Fine. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Anil, for a very insightful conversation and a very positive presentation. We always look forward to your talk, and thanks a lot for taking out time. And thank you everyone for joining in. We will continue every Sunday, as I said. Yes, Tapan, you can connect with me and do join the community. I'll put you in the WhatsApp groups also so that you get all the messages on time.
Please.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks,
Bye bye.
Rajiv.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.